All right, so keeping with entertainment, man. What was last weekend? What was yesterday?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Now, did you and the boys celebrate?
Yeah.
How did you celebrate?
Well, I took them trick-or-treating.
Okay. And what neighborhood? Because that matters. Neighborhoods matter.
Right. So we went to, normally I take them to Hyde Park, but we do the stores. We do the strip or whatever.
Yeah, because they come through.
And so this time they were like, well, Mom, no, we don't want to do that. So I was like, okay, well, where can I take them? I took them, we went from 48th to 51st, from between Greenwood and Woodline. The area.
Yeah, a little nook.
Really nice.
Nice little nook.
So packed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Niggas know.
Oh my God.
That's where the house is at, right? Woo. That's where Obama stay. In that area.
And, the minister, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Farrakhan and all them.
But get this. While my son was walking around going to the houses, he says, well, Mom, why is everybody in these houses white? And in our neighborhood, and everybody that's trick-or-treating is black.
Got him.
So we're walking.
Great question. Out of the mouths of babes.
And he's asking me these questions, but you got all these, loud
listeners. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, can we have this political conversation
Right.
when we get in the car? Can we go trick-or-treat?
While we eat Snickers, Twix, and Kit Kats. Well, we don't fuck with Kit Kats. But at the end of the day, we'll talk about it later.
And I mean, and each person they went to, they was like, well, what is that? I mean, they were so
thrilled and enthralled about
the candy
shit.
Wasn't even like, that meant nothing.
Right.
They was trying to figure out, something wrong with this picture, Mom. What's up?
Yeah. And they get it, dog. They get it. It's at an early age. That's why it's important to not sugarcoat. It's obviously a balance you got to keep.
Yeah.
But you have to expose your young people, especially our beautiful black babies, especially our beautiful baby boys, to this shit early to let them know, like, something ain't right here. Something is not right here. All the schools consist of black kids. All of the transit systems consist of black people. All of the blue-collar workers, more or less, consist of black people. And all the beautiful houses in this neighborhood are inhabited by non-black people. Yeah. Something's awry. Yeah. And the president lives here. The motherfucking minister lives here.
He had security all out by his house.
Come on, man.
Because, my
what
kids.
They call the FOD, the FOI, some shit?
My kids don't care who house it is. They we going to this house?
Throw a rock.
So look, the security guys, they like, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Happy Halloween.
Right. Keep it moving. Peace and blessings. Look, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
See some of the celebs who dressed up and kind of posted their pics?
Now, I can't tell what year they were from, so I don't know if they was throwbacks or whatever. I saw Sierra, Russell, and the kids, and they kind of had the Wakanda theme. Did you see that one? So she was like the bald head chick from Black. Did you see Black Panther yet? Nevertheless, she was I'm talking to y'all now. She was the bald head chick, the general from Wakanda, and then the baby and Russell, not the baby, but the little boy, little Future, was Black Panther.
Okay.
And then the baby girl, she had something associated too with the the woman in the production. I seen a Beyonce where she was dressed like Toni Braxton.
That was this year.
That was this year, okay. Because then I saw her and Jay. And somebody
Arthur
else.
Ashe.
Yeah, he was doing the field. Yeah,
track and field gold medalist.
Yeah, maybe Wilma. Was she Wilma?
Yeah. So she did the Toni Braxton. I think that was maybe like a photo shoot.
Oh, okay.
But she did the track star and the Arthur Ashe actually at the Halloween party that they attended with her mom.
Okay.
So yeah, that was dope.
I seen some other celebrities dressed up, and I seen some dope costumes in general. Did you see some dope costumes that was like very creative in your opinion, or?
No, I think I saw the usual. I didn't see anything like oh wow, that was great. But I did see what I saw was funny was the morning show. Leon, Kyle, and Kendra. They did the Friday skit. Leon was Smokey, Kyle was Cube, and Kendra was Felicia. Remember when Felicia came up to
trying to get that microwave?
Yeah.
Like that car, that microwave, all that shit.
Yeah, that was funny.
I gotta check that one out, man. I saw dope costumes stood out to me. Rendell Solomon. So he the one that created One Stock, One Future, and he gets the young people stock and invested in the stock. He was Arthur. That shit was funny, man, because Arthur, the fucking little gerbil thing with the yellow sweater and glasses, yes. He was Arthur, and the first post that he posted was like just his fist balled up, like how they memed that shit a couple years ago. So I think that was clever. Shout out to my girl Courtney Rogers from Zion, man. I think she was in ATL, but she was Jessica Rabbit. Do you remember Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit.
And the frame on her, but she is like Valumpy.
Yeah.
Oh my stars. She did the damn thing, but she's like a baby does. See, this is my man's little sister, so it's like, she did it. And I want to say there was a couple others, but no celebrities per se that really stood out. I think I was so caught up in the Nicki Cardi beef, I wasn't even checking for fucking Halloween, man. But I did see, I think it was one of Kanye and Kim's daughters, and then maybe one of the sister, Courtney, the regular, that's the regular sister, right? Her child, one of her children, but they was dressed as like fat, boxy ass. You know, they had broad shoulders. It was just a little cute little, it kind of looked like a fat sumo wrestler, but it was squared instead of rounded. And then from the I Love It video where they was dressed as, Lil Pump was dressed as Perrier and Ye was dressed as like Fiji water. That's the babies, Lil Pump, that's Lil Pump. But they dressed in those little outfits too, and I thought that was cute just because it's like you're dressed like daddy. So that shit was dope to me. Cool. Do you have, before we move out of Halloween, do you have like a favorite Halloween or trick-or-treating memory from when you were coming up?
My favorite costume was, I was Queen Nefertiti.
Oh, really? You got pictures?
I don't know. My mom probably does, but I don't. That was my favorite. But
shout out to
back
Mama
in the day, we used to always have like little Halloween parties at my house. My aunt owned this building, so we have it in the hallway. Yeah. And we would buy for apples. Like, kids, we don't do that anymore.
The cool shit. Yeah. We had a Hallelujah lock-in. Shout out to Empowerment and Wisdom Ministries, man.
I remember those.
A couple years ago. We went to, I hosted it, so I had to be there. But it was live, though, because we had a whole school to ourselves. We locked ourselves in, slept overnight, blah, blah, blah. We did s'mores. We did a costume contest. We did a talent show, and it was real cool. But I think my favorite memories growing up from Halloween, my dopest costume, I think, was when I was Half Pint from School Days. Spike Lee's character from School Days.
That was his name?
G5G, yeah.
Okay.
Gamma. Man, I bodied that motherfucking outfit, Z. Got in big trouble that night, too. But I think my favorite memory was, I grew up in the burbs or whatever. Right. And going to those houses that, instead of giving you miniature, fun-sized candy bars, would give you a full candy bar for your or a whole pop. And your bag just got heavy instantly.
What's the worst candy you can
that give? Orange shit and that black shit that doesn't have a name. What the fuck is that? And why are you giving it to people in your community? You don't care about us, dog. Like, that was the candy that had razors in it and shit for a certain point in time. See, like, ugh, what is that?
I don't know.
Bats? Is that the name of that candy?
I don't know,
Bats
but it would be
candy?
Stick to the paper.
Dog, that shit was goo.
Yeah.
That's it. Why are you giving us orange and black goo? I don't like that, but I do like when people go all out for their houses. I don't like that as much during Christmas. Because it's just like, ugh, what the? But for Halloween, when it's like, motherfuckers popping out at you when you think it's a little statue or something, and they pop out at your ass. I like that shit, G. For Halloween, but for Christmas, when you got a goddamn breakdancing Santa, I'll be like,
I like that too.
Get that little Santa out of here, G. But I'm more of a Halloween dude. But moving into sports, but sticking with entertainment, all right? Lot to cover here, but we'll do it quickly. First and foremost, while I was gone, did you hear about the incident between the Lakers and the Rockets?
Yes.
Oh, my stars.
Yeah.
This nigga, Rondo.
Brandon Ingram was frustrated by that, getting called for the foul while James Harden was looking at the referee. Brandon Ingram shoved him in the back. James Harden wanted to retaliate, but was smart enough not to. And then Brandon Ingram stupidly got in the face of official Jason Phillips. You know it's bad when Lance Stevenson runs over to you to calm you down and to get you out of the official's face.
Sitting here, we go back and forth. We on here debating and what. And I know I got braces, so I spit when I talk. But you know I never mean that shit. He gave my man Chris Paul and spit on this man, dog. Like, I think spit in his eye or some shit. And it was like, yo, I haven't seen that shit in years. So, yeah, Chris Paul kind of muffed him or whatever. He pieced that nigga quickly up. He gave him that left quick, Rondo. But then Chris Paul came back and fired back on him, got 2 in, and then it kind of started getting broken up or whatever. And then he got suspended for 4.
Who?
I think Rondo got 3 games. Ingram, who pushed James Harden to kick the whole shit off, he got 4 games. And then Chris Paul, for retaliating, got 2 games. So all the suspensions are over and shit. But it's been a cool minute since you've seen 1, 2, 3 big name motherfuckers going at it like that. And just like Carmelo, all the commentators, Stephen A., definitely Shannon Sharp, they're like, spitting is not allowed. Like, I don't care if we're in a fucking street fight, bro. If you spit on me, dog, you have to die. So for that to happen at your job, could you imagine getting caught? Come here. Come step in my office. Close the door real quick.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, you're getting spit on at work, dog, so by another man?
What I did hear, I saw the video and watched it, and then I think Stephen A. or they were saying that Rondo's response was, yeah, I know that was wrong, but, you know, Chris Paul ain't a cool guy. You know, it's people who actually don't like him. Like,
yeah. He pulled that resume out like,
so what?
What does that have to do with anything?
Spit on you.
Right? Nobody spits on niggas. Like, that's so.
That's the most
pre-civil rights. Yeah, like, what are you doing, dog? And now Chris Paul, it's interesting because Chris Paul is not well liked as a teammate. Like, after he's off your team, people will be like, well, I ain't like him. He was too bossy and blah, blah, blah. He don't take accountability. Supposedly, he doesn't take accountability for his mistakes. But if you mess up, he's going to, nigga, what you doing?
Really?
So they say that. He's very assertive, you know, blah, blah, but that's some alpha male shit.
Those aren't bad things.
Right, that's like a good thing, especially in basketball and in sports. But he is like the president of the Players Association. He is like the face of State Farm. You know what I'm saying? So there's these other parts to him, and I think that's what Rondo was speaking to, was that y'all think he's a good guy. This nigga's an asshole, but it's like, but assholes...
Now, assholes get it.
Unless you're having sex, assholes don't get spit on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? So at the end of the day, man, 1 for Rondo, 2 for Chris Paul for the two-piece.
Yeah.
And shit, the Spencer's is over, so we'll see how that goes. But... we talked about this maybe last episode, which was a while ago. Yeah. Apologies, I missed you too. But we talked about my man, maybe not yours.
Yeah.
And we found out where he actually plays.
Right.
We thought he was at the Rucker shooting free throws. He actually is in Minnesota. He's in Minnesota giving niggas 50. And his name is D Rose. Can we slow clap D Rose in?
Yes.
Thank you, AC. Because... he scored 50 points, the highest point total he's ever scored in an NBA game in his professional career. And after so much up and down and down and down and back up and down, he cried during his postgame interview.
I know, I saw that.
He said, man, I worked so hard for this shit.
Every day, man, I work my ass off, bro. The organization, the fans, everybody, man.
We weren't sure if it was the throwback jersey you were wearing, but you did look like Derrick Rose of old. And what did it feel like?
Bitch, like, he was very candid. I loved it. I liked every minute of it. And it was so appropriate.
It was.
Because it's not about what happened to you. It's how you respond to that shit.
Yeah.
And he didn't give up. His career is nowhere near where it could have been if the injuries didn't happen. But that's if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk type shit, right? I just love the fact that he from the shy, he ride or die, he fought his way back. Now all the hard work is paying off. And we just hope he can make it through the season without any other injuries so we can continue to see greatness from this brother, because he is fucking great, dog. He's great, but injury will hinder greatness, dog. And Derrick Rose is a prime example of that. And shout out to you, Pooh. And we love you here in the side. We love you on this and the third. And I don't care what she has to say about it. But Jimmy Butler, that's still his team. At the end of the day, Jimmy didn't play that night. That's what gave him the opportunity to do that shit. Jimmy was out for rest purposes. So
let me say this, though. I saw on ESPN today, and it's a young chick, that red-haired girl. I don't know what show this was. But she was talking about the D Rose game and all kind of stuff.
Like a TV show?
Yeah, it's a show. She had 2 guest speakers, but she comes on there every day. I just don't know the name of the show. She was saying how people were talking about his game and giving him kudos, but at the same time bringing up the whole rape case. I forgot about that.
Yeah, is that still pending? I thought he just had a new baby.
Well,
was it from the rape?
No.
Is it a rape baby? Is this some SUV shit?
Yo, guy.
This is my man's, but I didn't know the rape case wasn't solved. They didn't solve it. Hello? Poo-poo?
But no, her thing was, she was getting upset because people would follow h's greatness by that, right? Like, oh, is that pending? What's going on with that? And I totally got that. And I was like, don't steal his shine. Like, let him have that moment. And then maybe next week question him about those allegations.
So it's times and places, okay?
Yeah, so I just hated that they would even bring that up, you know, to follow that after the great game he had.
Now, not necessarily related to sports, but sticking with entertainment, I see not equity, but I see that we're moving towards maybe balancing the scales just a little bit in terms of when you fuck up, you got to pay for that shit, right? So let's D Rose, boom. So they going to say, oh, he scored 50, but he has 50 counts of rape pending, right? So whatever. Okay, we get it.
Right.
Did you know that with all that shit Roseanne was talking and all that blah, 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 and she lost her show, and it was like, all right, we're going to finish the show this season without her. Did you know they took her show and made that shit the Connors without her?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. This was a few weeks ago. I saw her on Vice.
Oh.
And
apology?
This was like the first interview.
Very apologetic, I bet.
I felt different about her after watching the interviews.
Really?
I did. Yeah, surprisingly. Roseanne is... Human.
Flawed?
Off was the word that I was going to say.
She's off, okay.
She is, and she ain't having it easy. You know what I'm saying? She ain't having it easy right now. Like, I think we think checks are rolling in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, she's figuring it out. I think she is an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's I think she's always been that.
Yeah.
But I think because of the climate now, you have to filter your assholeness.
But do you? Because earlier we talked about how because of the political climate we're in, motherfuckers be wilding out with that shit.
If you have a show and everything is at stake, I mean, you just kind of got to think about
if your livelihood depends on it. Yeah.
But she basically was like, you know, she woke up and, you know, they asked her how does she feel about it being back without her. She honestly said she's happy because she didn't want everybody to suffer for a comment she made. So that was like the
So
good
come out
thing
with the
about
Huxtables.
Well, you know, the show ended way before.
I want the Huxtables. I want Theo. Let's focus on Theo and what became of his dyslexic ass and his family.
I think Felicia will carry the show. Like, let's go and get Claire back in there.
Please, believe.
Yeah.
I think it will happen.
Yeah. But so Roseanne ain't in a bad place. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out that, white people are fucking up and having to pay for it too. And they did the same thing with, is it House of Cards with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah. Well, his ass should be in jail.
Yeah.
He was what?
Raping boys.
He's raping boys. I don't get nothing to say about his ass.
But the character from the show that was his wife is now the lead character, but unfortunately this is the last season. But she's holding it the fuck down from what I hear. I don't watch that show. Yeah. All right, man. What else we got in entertainment?
So, have you watched the show Raq Rants?
Raq Rants? Like
so Raquel?
The Rock?
No.
I was about to say, can you smell that rock? What rock? That rock? Pookie Rock? Third rock from the sun? What rock?
Raquel from TMZ. The black girl on TMZ.
The only guy I know is the black guy. The only black I know from TMZ.
There's a black girl on there.
What's his name?
Van.
Van. I know Van.
So you don't know the other black girl that's on there?
Huh? I will Google her.
She's been on there forever. So anyway, she has her own show, and it's called Raq Rants. And she's had 2 episodes so far. The first episode, she had Jada.
Okay. Hey, Jada.
She had Jada. She had Taraji on there.
Hey, Taraji.
This last episode, she had Lil Yachty.
Oh, Lil Bo.
She had Vivica Fox. That's how her face looked, too.
Oh, gee. Years ago.
She was.
But the year after I saw her in person in Atlanta, and I said, Vivi, what the fuck happened to your face, Vivi? The booty call gone wrong. Something went wrong. She was beautiful, the booty call. She was
Even in Tuka Play That Game.
Tuka played that game, set it off. She had a little sex appeal.
Yeah, she was. Okay, and then she talked to Cat Williams. Oh, you gotta watch it. That was so interesting. So first, let me talk about Lil Yachty.
Okay.
He was just weird, maybe?
He's a little off.
Okay.
Just in general.
Okay.
He's Roseanne as a black man with beads in his hair.
And I was confused because he didn't say he don't smoke no weed. So I was like, is he on something?
No, his mom smoked enough.
Because he was
and it wasn't weed.
the way he talked, it was just, you got to see it because she would ask him questions and it was like he didn't really answer the question.
Roundabout ass nigga.
Cat Williams.
Did he have the red beads in his hair?
Pink.
That's his signature. Okay. Well, shit, I like that. But you know how like Serena and Venus used to look when they first came out? Yeah. That's his hairdo. Lil Bo.
Yeah, he's special. Cat Williams is a nut. That he's a plain fool, right? Mm-hmm. And so she did mention the Tiffany Haddish stuff. Mm-hmm. And he said, he was like, well, there was nothing for her to say to me. He said, I was wrong, and so I bowed down to the queen at the Emmys or whatever award show, right? Yeah. He said, and she accepted. He said, and then I saw hours later on the Breakfast Club interview that apparently she recanted
her acceptance of such
because Kevin Hart
was like, yo,
his rant, and so
they kicked my little sister ball over the fence. I went to get it.
He had nothing to say. Cat didn't go in anymore. He didn't say nothing else. But in his whole entire interview, if you ask him certain things, there's a way he answers your questions that doesn't implicate him in anything. Oh. So you just have to watch the interview.
He's media trained.
He's just a straight up.
What are y'all crazy? Give me an example.
And he's training. He was like,
Kevin. For what? MMA?
No, he was like, Kevin Hart ain't doing all that boxing and this training for nothing. He's preparing for a fight, so I'm ready. I was like, this dude.
Sir, you're old for everything against teens. You remember when a teen yoked this nigga up in a flag football competition or some shit a couple years ago? God. He got into it with a young nigga and got choked out. Was like, whose son is this?
I saw that
whose child? Who would do this to a grown man?
Yeah, he's funny.
Dog, at the end of the day, Cat Williams, and I'm starting to see this now, and I'm not judging or whatever, but I don't like when people who are very convincing, he's very convincing, he's very talented, this nigga's very funny. I think he won an Emmy that night for his appearance on Atlanta. Like, gee, you're talented. And when you focus on your craft, you stick to your craft, and you just understand and realize that there's levels to this shit, and your level might not be somebody else's level, but that might be maximizing your potential, and that's fine. But I feel like him, I feel like Monique, I feel like Mike Epps. Like, I was watching Mike Epps on The Breakfast Club. Did you see that interview?
No.
He was talking about gatekeepers, and it was obvious he was talking about Kevin Hart. He's like, man, previous gatekeepers have empowered new gatekeepers to determine what black people get opportunities in Hollywood, and it could be a black gatekeeper that says, yeah, him, her, not him, her, y'all come on, but he can't come. And if that happens, then I'm not allowed to work. And it's just like, bro, just say the nigga's name, dog. Like, if that's how you feel, but that's some fuck shit
but
to me.
Mike Epps don't never say nobody's name.
But it's just like, bro, you're writing books. You're getting paid as an author. You got, I think he's been in some show. He definitely was in like Survivor's Remorse or something. He was doing like Meet the Blacks. He got little C-class movies and shit, and it's better than nothing, dog. Like, you had All About the Benjamins.
So you think everybody's hating on Kevin Hart?
I think motherfuckers are focused in the wrong places. I feel like instead of bigging up or tearing down anybody, you should be focused on your craft. And I think that's what got Kevin Hart so far, is that he wasn't focused on y'all niggas until y'all start throwing rocks at the throne. He's focused on his potential. And that's when he's realizing that there ain't no fucking limit to that shit when you focus on it. And now he has a platform, he's putting on other people, but it's like the people he's putting on are not those that came up with him or before him.
They're his friends.
They the people that are emerging talents. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Calvin Evans. We had a conversation the other day. He's next up, man. Just how Lil Rel. Shout out to Lil Rel doing his show, doing his thing.
I like Calvin. He looks like 50 Cent.
Calvin is next up. You heard it first on This, That, and the Third, G. Anything else in entertainment before we go?
Last but not least, not a new show, but it's back for season 2.
Wait. I saw your movie. 3 billboards outside of some bumfuck town in Missouri.
Missouri.
That movie is quality. And you know what was so fucking ironic? Right before I watched that shit, I watched Fargo for the first time ever. Have you seen Fargo?
Yes.
And did you know that lady is the cop from Fargo?
Yeah. Well, she
that shit was weird to just see that movie and then to see that Billboard movie. I'm like, this lady.
Okay. So
I love her.
She plays in the movie. Watch this movie. It's called Friends with Money.
Okay.
And it's Jennifer Aniston is in it. There's a couple other people, right? And it's a group of friends. Jennifer Aniston is one of the friends who don't have money.
Okay.
But
she plays that role well.
But that lady, she's a designer in the movie, and then her husband is like metrosexual. Everybody thinks he's gay. But her mouth in the movie is so off the chain.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with her in that movie just because she's always very sarcastic and dry.
Yeah.
So when I saw her in 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, it was like,
did she win some shit for that? She did well.
Mm-hmm.
She did well. Did she win something for Fargo? Because like Fargo was just like the way motherfuckers talk in Minnesota. Hey. I'm like, what the fuck? What part of Canada is this? But I guess whatever. But what show was you talking about?
The Red Table Talk.
Aha, it's sweeping the nation. And you know how I know that it is? Because after you put me on game to this shit, and you told me about it a while ago, but the particular episode that we watched obviously was hot. But, in Southwest, when you fly Southwest, they just have you line up 1 through 50 and whatever. The nigga that was standing, the only black dude in line is engulfed in the episode. And I had just watched it the other day. I'm like, this shit is hot.
It is.
This shit is hot.
And I think it's because you just go into it and there's no.
That shit is real, dog.
Yeah,
it ain't
transparent.
You can't hold back on that shit, G. Like, and we want to know. We want to know, like, how the fuck? When the fuck? Why the fuck? We see the pictures. We see all the exterior shit. How'd y'all get that? And they like, nigga, that shit was not.
Well, it's so interesting because, like, I've loved Jada since Different World, right? And I've loved Will. And so when they got together, in my mind, I was like, the energy, right? You just felt like the energy was good.
It matched.
Now, I remember Hawthorne because I used to love Hawthorne. I remember when I Whip My Hair came out. And I was like, they doing a lot. But you never heard anything negative around that time, right?
It was very positive.
Tight-knit. What I do love about that is that they kept their journey and all that they were going through, when they was going through it, to themselves.
To themselves.
And then I just liked how, one, I definitely could see how Will can be very egotistical, right?
Aren't we all, though, to some degree? He just has a bigger opportunity to do so.
But if you think about it, what he said was, I was trying to build this picture in my mind from a little boy.
Yeah,
right?
Because of the trauma he experienced as a young kid.
This is what he wanted in his head. Yeah. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
he
matter
wouldn't matter nobody's feelings. He was just an autopilot trying to get this picture.
And I was reading a book on this. Some people are outcome driven and some people are process driven. It seemed like he was focused on the outcome of what he wants. And it was so dope. We talked about it earlier with the boys, out of the mouths of babes. He said Willow was just like laughing at the nigga face and was like, man, mommy, he has a picture of a family in his mind and it's not us. That's real, G. Because you could have Jada, you could have Willow, you could have Jaden, and what's the Trey. And you can have Trey and you can be Will. And it's still not what you picture because it's not moving how you thought it was going to move. It's not coming together. Like, it's presented well, but it's not what it's empty.
And I could so relate to Jada losing herself in all of Willness, right? And then from that to being a mom, now to in their dreams, Karate Kid, all this stuff.
After Earth.
She was just going through the motions, just trying to be whatever Will wanted.
Whatever you need.
You know what I mean? And so for her to finally say, no.
Enough!
After their 40th birthday party.
Oh, he had been planning since the 37th, G. Like, another testament to his ego. Like, he said, man, I'm going to give her the 40th birthday party my wife would want. It's like, nigga, what about what Jada wants?
I don't want to sit and listen to my grandmother's messages in front of everybody.
Her last breath was uttered for the first time in front of a live studio audience. That's an intimate moment that was shared with millions. I don't like that either.
So, but I do like that Will has allowed Jada to go through her process, and they've allowed each other to kind of figure it out because, like they did say in the very beginning, they would have tore each other's heads off. They were very like, rah, rah, and they recognized that in the beginning.
timing. Timing isn't everything, but it's something. And I like how they said we got to the point where she was like, Will, would you shut the fuck up? And he
hit her with a piece of paper.
And hit her in her shit. And they said, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And stepped out and addressed that shit and nipped that shit in the bud and went 20 years without cursing or raising their voices and all these other things. And I said to you off camera that that's so important to get those small things right early, because now you have a foundation to fall back on. Like, well, at least we know we're not going to cross these lines. We're not going to violate these things because these are deal breakers. And when he told her, like, man, if you're going to sit here and be derogatory and what, I will leave you to now.
Right now.
Tonight, to now.
Yeah.
I will leave you to now.
Yeah.
And we don't even have to play this game because I know it's a deal breaker for me. And addressing that and subscribing to that as the significant other early, that I think that's the magic pill, if there was one, for their relationship.
I think that helped.
Yeah.
That helped. And then towards the end, and this is what I find a lot, she said, Will built this beautiful golden cage for me, but it was
golden
a cage.
Dog, and birds can't fly in the cage.
Woo!
That is poetic.
Woo! If I
poetic,
feel
dog.
like I'm in the cage,
yeah, I don't give a fuck how beautiful the cage is.
I want to go.
Open the gates.
Yeah. So, but I was really glad to just see like the full circle.
Yeah.
And at the end, he was like, I'm so glad that you found something that really brings you joy, that I have been trying to bring your ass home.
Yeah, it's just like, you can't. But that's the thing, when you realize I can't, you have to find it for yourself. And I love the piece. One, before I get to that, my favorite part, I love, what's Gammy?
Yeah.
First of all, she bad as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I love how Gammy said the marriage shit was like non-negotiable. It's like, when and how are we getting married versus are we getting married? And it was kind of like, Will was like, yeah, I always, saw myself getting married, never saw myself getting divorced.
And what did Jada say?
And she pretty much was like, she's not with the ceremony. She wanted to just be them two.
But she never saw herself as a wife.
Yeah. She did say that. And then also, it was interesting how his first marriage didn't work out because, they going back and forth. He like, nigga, I'm Will Smith. We ain't getting no divorce, blah, blah. And she was like, man, just flat out, you gonna make somebody stay with you that doesn't love you? Oh! Here! Sign where?
But he didn't realize that was a blessing.
Because it's definitely a blessing.
Really wanted
Jada. The whole time. Because he went to me. Like, y'all need to watch the whole shit.
You didn't see it.
And I'm sorry we went on tangents. I will say this. My favorite part of that whole shit was when he said, I realized, and I don't know when he said he realized it, but he said, I realized that I would not rather be with you, but I choose to be with you because if I don't work it out with you and I don't figure out how to make this work with you, I will spend the rest of my life searching in vain for you.
Will.
One time for Will. William H. Smith. Oh, my stars. And that nigga's name is Willard.
Willard,
Who
right?
knew?
I love it.
Dog. Everything about that shit was so eye-opening. I think that wraps us up for entertainment.